Good morning. Welcome to American Dream Vacations. My name is Virgil. I'm going to be doing the orientation today for Unit 1835. First, I'm going to start out with the keys. If you look at this key here, this key of course does the doors, the passenger door and the driver door, as well as the ignition. This black handle key here that you see does the locks. And if you look on there, you can see where it shows you the lock symbol and unlock symbol there. That's what that does. This other black handle key is for the deadbolt. It locks and unlocks the deadbolt. And then the shiny key that says 751, this unlocks all the compartments on the outside of the motorhome. This also unlocks compartments on most RVs and travel trailers. So if you have something really valuable, don't leave it outside because everybody probably has one of these keys. All right, we're going to open this up inside and I'm going to show you how this power awning works. So let's get this door open here. If you look inside here, you will see a switch on the wall that's reading in and out. And basically that is how you are going to open and close the patio awning. So basically you just push it where it says out and the awning starts to come out by power. These are pretty cool. So get it all the way out and it will raise it up to the height that it needs to be. Some tips on the awning: if it's a windy day, don't open it, just basically leave it closed. If it starts to rain and you have the awning out, it may be a good idea to shut the awning, just to close the awning, because the water is going to puddle up in the middle and it's going to end up damaging the awning. So anyway, that's how the awning works. Let's go ahead and bring it in. Just push the button where it says in and bring the awning in. A little word to the wise while this is coming in: this button is not tied into the ignition in any type of way. So basically what I'm saying is if you have some small kids in the RV and they push this button, this awning is going to start coming out. So just to give you some advice, just watch if you have any little kids, because this thing will come out regardless if you're parked or moving going down the road. All right, so let's close this up here. So we're going to start over here at this compartment. Inside here you have your propane tank. And if you see, you have a little indicator here that shows you how much propane you have left. And then this valve over here is the valve that opens and closes the tank that allows the propane to flow out. If you turn it clockwise, that is closing the propane tank. If you turn it counterclockwise, that's basically opening it up. And you really need to leave this open so when you're using the RV, the propane can flow out of the tank to the different appliances inside. If there's a problem, then you basically just need to come out here and shut it off and give us a call if you smell propane inside the RV. These little attachments here are designed to hold these door compartments open. Inside of here, you have kind of like an entertainment center. You have a outside TV here, and you also have a CD player. You just basically push that button and the face pops open and you load your CD player in here, and it's also a radio. Okay? And then you could hook in something else over here. If you had like an external TV or something, you could hook it in over here and be able to see it. Or some type of external DVD player or whatever, you can hook it in right there. Okay? You do have to have electricity to make this TV work. Meaning you got to be plugged in at 30 amps, or you have to have the generator running in order to utilize that TV outside. These mirrors move in like so, if you need to move them in, and they adjust by turning them up, down, sideways, left to right. That's how they would adjust. Okay? We've already gone in and did our inspections. We do a multi-point inspection, checking fluids and things like that, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. If you're out on an extended trip doing several thousand miles, it would be a good idea to check the fluids just like you would in your own vehicle while you're out. When you stop for fuel, just come out here and check the oil and so forth. Once again, we talked about the mirrors over here. Inside of here, basically, excuse me, inside of here, you have some different adjustments for the seats and so forth. And we've probably covered that already in our first video on the inside, but just to show you basically. And you've got your little entry step here. Another tip: when you're entering or exiting this vehicle, it's not a good idea to step on this step and to step up, because you're going to hit your head most of the time. So it's just a good idea to kind of lean in and get in the seat like so. That's the smartest way to get in and out of a Class C. Okay? Over here, you have your generator compartment. And Like I said, those little latches designed to hold that open. Down here you have this cover that you have to remove to check the breaker, check the fluid, things like that. So basically you turn these latches to the right and that unlocks them. Lift this cover right up and out of the way. You see this little yellow cap here? That's where you would check the oil in the generator. Of course you don't want to check it when it's running, because if you open it up, it's going to shoot oil all over you. Over here is where you have your start and stop button. And you can start this generator in several places. You can start it out here, or you can start it on the inside. And if you can see down in here where your breaker is, it's a little toggle switch. It flips back and forth. If that toggle switch is away from you, that means that the breaker has tripped and you need to reset it. So basically what you do is you just reach down here and you flip it back forward towards you, and that resets the breaker. Okay? All right, let's put this cover back on. The way you put this cover on, you take it up high first and you fit the bottom in, and you make sure it's kind of like sitting down in the groove. Then you push on it, you turn it back to the left, and you pull on that cover and you make sure she's locked on so you don't lose that cover. And you do not want to run the generator with that cover off. Okay? Over here you have another compartment for storage, and inside of here you've got your power cord. This power cord is 25 feet long, and most campgrounds are either going to be 30 amps or 50 amps. And if you don't remember, basically you can look right on here and it tells you it's 30 amps. And this is what a 30 amp breaker, a 30 amp cord looks like rather. 50 amps, there would be 4 prongs. There's no way to plug this into a 50 amp, so don't worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to plug this back in down here. If you look inside this compartment, you're going to see your power cord, and basically you just pull it out. And this is designed with that little notch so you can pull your cord out and leave it out without having this compartment door open all the time. So you pull your cord all the way out, or as much as you need. But what I want to show you is inside here, there's an electrical box inside of there. You can see that. Basically what this means is this cord needs to remain plugged into something at all times. You either have it plugged into your 30 amp outlet at your campground, or you plug it back into this box. When the generator is running, all of the electricity is sent directly to that outlet. If your cord is not plugged into that outlet, you won't get any electricity inside the motorhome. It's real important to remember to do that. So whenever this is, you never leave this loose. Always plug it back into the box, okay? You got this little adapter here. If you look, it looks like a 30 amp plug. What this is, this reduces it from 30 amps to 15 amps. So say you just want to take it home, plug it in, keep the battery charged, run different things in the RV, you can do that. You plug this onto your cord and then run an extension cord from your house onto this end right here. Now the only downside to this being 15 amps, you cannot run the roof air conditioner when you have a 15 amp adapter on there, because the AC needs 30 amps. Please remember that. 15 amps, no AC. Everything else will work, okay? So we'll put that back inside there, and we're gonna move on. Over here, you've got a couple of different things here. This one says city water connection. Basically, when you get to a campground, you are going to hook up your water hose. You have a 25-foot freshwater hose along with a water pressure regulator. When you get to your campground or at your house, you take this end of the hose with the regulator and it screws onto the faucet at your campground or at your house, and the other end of this hose will screw directly into there. So basically what happens is you have forced water as if you're at home coming into the RV. This over here is for filling up your freshwater tank. Behind this wall, you have a freshwater tank. You have a tank that you carry water on board. So when you're traveling down the road, you know, you turn on your water pump, and then you can get the water from this tank to the toilet, to the sink, or wherever you need it. Basically, you take your water hose and you do the same thing. You just screw it onto that, and then you fill up your freshwater tank. Once it's full, you will see inside there's an indicator that shows you how much fresh water you have in your freshwater tank. Okay? All right, move right along. Over here, this is just a little cable hookup if they had cable at the campground. All right, this is your fuel fill. It uses regular unleaded fuel. It holds about 58 gallons of fuel, okay? All right, so what we're gonna talk about now is the thing that people dread the most, dumping the waste. It's really a simple process, so don't let it freak you out. Basically what you need to do is, the first thing you do before you dump your tank, you undo the cap and you let it dangle. You take your sewer hose, which is in the back compartment, you put it on here, you lock it on, and then the other end of your sewer hose will go down into your dump station at your campground or wherever you are. Some of them will have a threaded inlet. You would thread this in there and then you attach it on. Once you make sure that these both are attached firmly, you want to come over here and you want to pull this big black valve under here. Notice how that one's bigger than this one. So that's your black tank, and then the handle's black and then this one's gray. You pull that tank first, pull that valve first rather, and all the waste from your toilet is going to drain out through the hose down into your dump station there. Once it's done, you shake your hose a little bit, you close that, and then you pull this other side. This is the sink and the shower water. This water is going to clean out your hose. Make sure you do it in that order, because if you don't, you probably won't make that mistake ever again. But first black, gray second. Once it's done, you shake your hose again, and then you pick your hose up and you slowly snake whatever may be remaining in the hose down into your dump station. And then you undo your hose, just like so, and then you recap it. And that's how you dump your tanks. One little note on that, if you stay at a campground and you have this hose hooked up all the time, you do not want to leave those valves open. You need to leave them closed and let the pressure build up in the tank. And the way you do that is you just watch your monitor panel inside. So when you see you're getting maybe at a quarter of a tank full or half a tank, you come outside and you drain, pull the black valve first, close it, do the gray valve, close it, and you drain it off. But do not leave those tanks open, those valves open there, because it will cause a problem later on. And then you have a storage compartment in here. And also as you move around here, you have another storage compartment here. And there is a hitch on the back. If you notice, on the back of here, you see this little deal right here? There's a spare tire that's mounted under the very bottom of this motorhome. If you should have a flat tire and road service comes out, or you have to call road service, you can't change these flats yourself. Road service comes out, they're going to be wondering how to get that tire down. Well, this is what they would do. They put a little wrench onto that and they crank that, and that's going to lower that spare tire down to the ground. That's what that is right there. Okay, and you also have a hitch in the back if you want to tow, and you can tow a maximum of 4,000 pounds with these RVs. And this ladder here is designed for us to go up there and do maintenance. There's no storage up there, so there's no reason for you to actually be up on top of the roof. And once again, we have more storage here. We talked about that 751 key unlocks all these compartments. And finally over here, we have this cover here. You have two electrical outlets. If the generator's running, or if you plugged up to a 30 amp outlet, these will work. If you don't have that, these will not work, okay? And over here, you have a solar charging deal, but that really doesn't apply because it doesn't have any solar panels. They just happen to put that on here. This is the back side of the refrigerator for us to go in and do maintenance. This is the back side of the furnace, and it says hot, so if it's on, it will burn your hands, or if little kids are out here, it will burn them. And this is the back side of the hot water heater. And inside, there's a switch that turns that on. It's a 6-gallon hot water heater. When you first turn it on, it's about a 20-minute delay before you have hot water, okay? And that pretty much concludes the orientation on 1835. Thank you very much.